Hi, my name is Bill Parkinson. I'm the Director of Business Development for the Sage 300 group at XM Developments. XM Developments is the publisher of Sage eCommerce, and Sage eCommerce is the world's only Sage certified e-commerce solution. What exactly does that mean? It means that Sage eCommerce was in the Sage labs where their engineers went over it and tested our integration protocols, our security protocols. They looked at the tools that we use for development. They looked at our roadmap to ensure that we were going where Sage wanted to go, and most importantly, they checked to make sure that our product does what our customers expected it to do. So let's just jump right in and take a look at the product. So I'm going to log in, and when I log in, you'll notice that I'm logged in actually as an employee. So you have the ability with this product for your salespeople and SCRs to place orders on behalf of clients. So I'm logged in as myself, but I'm buying on behalf of Ron Black. I can click on here and I can switch to other customers. So it's very important that, if you're doing things like trade shows, you can actually take a laptop or a tablet to a trade show and place orders at the trade show and actually take payments at the trade show. One of the most important things about Sage eCommerce is that it is deeply integrated to Sage 300. And to take a look at that, I'm just going to jump into the back end here. And we'll go down to the Sage integration. And we'll look at replication. And what replication does, when we first set up a site for you, we replicate about 75 tables out of your Sage 300 up to the web. And after that, every time there's a change in the Sage 300 tables, we replicate those changes within 45 to 60 seconds. So every 45 to 60 seconds, your website matches exactly what your Sage 300 says. This isn't web data, this is actually your Sage accounting data. So if an order comes in from EDI or your CSRs key it in manually into the system, or it comes from your POS, it'll still show up at the website. So I'm just going to back out of here for a second, and we're going to take a look at what your clients then see and what this integration means to them. So when we look at the account, or my account, it shows the customer's order history. And again, as I said, this is orders coming from anywhere. So I can drill down in here and I can see my orders. I can see quotes. I can actually reorder by just clicking on this, and it'll put that product or that order back into the shopping cart, and I can then check out. But when it puts it back into the shopping cart, because it's integrated to the Sage 300, it knows of any price changes since the last order. So it'll automatically update that order to the newest pricing. I can do quotes from here. They'll go into Sage as a quote. The sales rep can take a look at the quote and finish it off. When it comes back here, as a customer, all I can do is accept or decline the quote. I can create as a customer, I can create as many order templates as I want. And an order template is sort of like a standing order. If you have the same things that you order over and over again, you can create an order template or a save shopping cart, some people call it that, and load that back up. So we allow you to save those two ways. One is you can save them with the quantities pre-saved, or you can save them with all the quantities set to 0. I always recommend that people set it to 0, because we as human beings are a bit lazy, and we tend to open up that cart and just say, yeah, reorder. And then when the order comes in, we realize, oh, I meant to order 10 of those, but the cart was saved with only 5. If you set it to 0, it forces them to go through and actually put in the correct amounts. Specials are simply things that are in Sage 300 on sale, so they'll automatically show up at the website. Active promotions. Promotions are something that we allow, and they're a little different than sales. Sales have a single condition. Between this date and this date, the price is set to this. With a promotion, you can set multiple conditions. So you can say things like, if you buy $1,000 worth of product from us, we will give you a 10% discount. Or if this is your first order with us from the web, we're going to give you this gift. So you can set these conditions that then allow you to give different things to your client. The auto order list is a listing of everything that this client has bought from you in the last, and you get to set how many months you want to track. Most people do 6 to 12 months. And then you can sort it by the most frequently ordered by this client, the highest quantity ordered, or the last product ordered. and then, as I said, set the number of months. Transaction history, this is pulling all of the transactions from Sage 300. So you can set all, or you can filter down by invoices, credit notes, prepayments, receipts, and refunds. And then you can show unpaid or paid invoices. And your clients can actually come here and pay open invoices online. And that'll go all the way through and create the receipt batches in Sage 300 for you. So there's really nothing for you to do. It's all automated. My gift registry allows you to set up gift registries for clients, and you can set what the event is. You know, it could be a wedding, it could be a birthday, it could be an anniversary, and then they can list the products that they'd like to get, and then people can come and buy those. User preferences is pretty much what it describes. It's a user setting up their preferences. The address book is the ship tos that go to this client, and the client can actually come here and add new ship tos, which will write into Sage 300. And then you can sign out. So before I take a look at the front end of the store, I tend to like to take a look at the back end, because it's the power that is built into our administrative tools that gives you the power to shape how you want to do business with your customers. So we'll take a look at this for a little bit. On the sales side, you can take a look at your Sage orders. So we're now in the admin tools, and just as a point, you can actually set up what of your staff can see what in the admin tools, and we'll see that in a little bit. You can look at the order queue here. You can look at your shipments, your invoices, if there's any failed invoices. So if something happened in the Sage backend and the invoice didn't get created, that'll show up here. You can look at your quotes. In the catalog, if we take a look at products, you can do things like enable badges. So a badge is, you see on some websites in the corner of an image, it'll say on promo. So that's what badges are. So you can set up two different badges. You could have an on promo. You could have something like, lactose free, gluten free, that sort of thing. And you can add that to the product, and it'll put it in the image, and then you can decide where in the image you want that to sit. Product variations allows us to go in and set up things like size color grids. So if you're selling things like clothing where you want to show it comes in these different colors and it comes in these different sizes, that's product variations. The product configurator allows you to do, it's essentially building kits on the fly. So what you're actually doing is you're going in and if you think of when you go and you order a Dell computer, they've got a picture of a computer and it tells you what comes in it. But then you can configure that computer. You can say, well, I want a faster CPU in it, I want more RAM, I want a better video card, and as you change that, it changes the price of the product, but it creates that kit that at the end it says, this is everything that this client's ordering from you. And that's actually what our product configurator does. And our new one actually does much more than that. You can do things like if you have a tile company and you want to say, somebody comes in, a do-it-yourselfer, and says, I'm doing a 400 square foot floor. You can say, okay, select the tile that you want, and then based on the size of the tile, it'll say this is how many tiles you're going to need, and then based on that, it'll say this is the grout you should be using, and this is the mortar that you should be using, and this is how much of it you'll need, and this is how much trim you'll need, and then it'll give you this whole kit and put it all together for you. So it's very, very powerful. Brands allows you to select, if you've got particular brands that you sell, you can create a brand catalog or category, and you can show all the different brands and put their logos with them. Product filters allows you to do things like when you go to some place like Best Buy and you say, I'm looking for a TV, do you want LCD, do you want LED, do you want plasma? So you can have all these filters set up. So there's 4 stock filters that come with the system, and then you've got 20 custom filters that you can create for your products. Upload images. This is just a tool for doing exactly what it says, uploading images to the website, and this is where you upload your badge images. So with our customers, you can create as many customer groups as you want, and this is quite important because if you want to personalize your site so that clients coming to it get a very personalized view of their world, you can actually set up landing pages that represents that company's logo, their background colors, so that when they land there, they feel like they're at home. And then you can set a custom catalog for them. You can also create a gift registry. I mentioned that a little earlier. This is where you would come set it up. Sales reps is really much more about managing all of your staff, not just the sales reps, because this is where you come in and say, who's allowed to go into what areas in the website. So, somebody may be allowed to do content management, but they're not allowed to go into the order side, that sort of thing. So you set up groups, and then you give them permissions. And of course, you can edit that all over here. Promotions, what we talked about a little earlier. This is where you come in and set up your promotions. And you can have promotions for the public, and you can have separate promotions for dealers. So this site supports both business to business and business to consumer. And you can have a completely separate look for the business to business and the business to consumer site. If you take a look at the content management system, our sites are all what they call responsive design, which means that they will display properly on desktop computers, notebook computers, tablets, and phones. And as you change the size, the layout of the screen will change. So the default pages, you can go in and then you can create custom pages. So you can create as many pages as you want with this website. So if you've got marketing pages that you want to put out that don't really sell anything, they're just to talk about, our company, about us, our contact us page. Maybe you've got a dealer finder that you want to put on that links to Google Maps and can show where they can find your dealers. You can do all of that with the content management system. And then you can create custom forms. So a form may be something that says, I only sell to wholesalers, so I want you to apply to have an account with us. So you put a form up on the site that they fill out with all the reasons why they should become a client of yours, and that form can go in and then you can review it and accept it or decline it. For our blogging tool, we actually use WordPress, which is the most popular blogging tool in the world. When we take a look at the system, there's only a couple of things I'm going to take a look at in here. So if we take a look at site settings, this has got some very critical stuff in it. When you look down here, this is all your SEO stuff. So we support fully Google Analytics. We also support Facebook Pixel and your different search settings. So the site is very, very SEO friendly, and all the URLs that are generated are very search engine friendly. You can see up here where it says dashboard admin managed site or M site. So this is called readable URLs, and this is what the bots are looking for. They're looking for something that if a human looked at it, they'd be able to understand where they were in the site, and that's critical to get good SEO rankings. The other thing I wanted to just take a quick look at is features, and this is just to give you an idea of how many features there are in this system. And this is only one page of features. We saw some others earlier, but you can see that you have full control over virtually everything and how you want to do business with your clients. So when we're setting up a website for the first time, this is a great deal of what we spend with you, is going through this and setting it up the way you want it, so that going forward you can change it and you get to manage your website. You don't need us for every little change, because it's not all customized, it's actually all clickable. I'm just going to jump down to, most of this stuff is fairly self-explanatory, but transaction emails allows you to set up different types of emails that you want to send to customers, and so you can create that email, the email address that you want it to send from, who you want it to come from, turn it on and off. You've got your successful order notifications. Very powerful back end. We also have full multi-language capabilities. You set up the site to be multi-language. It's an add-on option, and then you import your different languages. We actually can support, I think it's 6 different languages in the back end. So we've got English, French, I think it's Spanish, simple Chinese, and then we're back to the Sage integration. So now that we've really taken a good look through the back end and given you an idea of all the flexibility that you have in terms of managing your account, Let's see how that translates to the front end, which is what your customers see. So as I said, I'm logged in right now as a salesperson, which is why I get to see this admin tag. If I wasn't logged in as Ron Black directly, I wouldn't see this. I'd just see account, wish list, and log out. The one other thing I wanted to show you while I'm here is we took a look at this quickly, that you can switch and see different customers, but this tag or this tab is, I think, quite powerful. If you've ever gone onto a site and filled out a large order and then some time along the way you had a glitch in your computer and you lost that order, because this site is completely hosted on our servers, which sit as a private entity on top of the Amazon cloud, you can actually have your sales or your CSRs come in here. If a client phones and said, I was in the middle of putting in an order and I lost it, can you help me? So they can click in here and assume the identity. So that's all the login characteristics of that customer. Because it's on our servers, we can then see that order, and when we're looking at the order, we can either do one of two things. We can save that order, and then you can create a second order for the things that didn't make it on it, or we can walk you through it and we can finish it off for you and then save it to give that extreme customer experience. So if we look at our catalogs, so you, as I said, the back end, you can create as many catalogs as you want because we're pulling all of the pricing from Sage 300. So what your customer sees here is exactly what they would get if they called you, because we're pulling over all of their pricing, all of the discounts, all the contract pricing, everything about that customer and the products that you have are brought to the web, and that customer will get exactly the same price, no matter whether they're buying through EDI, whether they're buying through phoning in, whether it's a POS system. If it's all pulling from Sage 300, they're going to get exactly the same price, and those orders will show up in their account. So if I click here, and I'm just going to drill down into a product. So it shows, you can show the quantity on hand. You can also show in stock, out of stock, and you can set it so that if you have at a certain amount you want to say limited stock, you can do that as well. So I'm just going to click and drill down into this. So it shows that we have 21 in stock. Now you can set so that your sales reps can see this check stock, or you can let the public see it as well. And with the check stock, what it does is it loads up and it looks at all your warehouses and shows the quantity that's on hand and the quantity that's on sales orders. So I really only have one that's available for sale here. If you had other locations that have inventory of this product, they would show here. For each product, you can have up to 12 pictures. And all that we get from you is we try to get the largest picture. So we ask you for something that's about 800 by 800, and that gives us the ability to zoom in and show the detail. And then there's a setting in the back end that says for all the different places that you use pictures in the website, what size do you want them to display as? So, you know, these little pictures, what size do you want that to be? What size do you want your thumbnails to be? That sort of thing. This comment box allows the client to actually place a comment per line item. So if there's something about this that's particular, you know, maybe it's that this has to be shipped. Actually, you could have it so that this is shipped to a separate location, and we actually allow you to split those orders so that where Sage only allows you to ship to one location at a time, you can actually split orders with our system, and you can split them by warehouse or by ship to location, so that when the order goes out, it'll actually make multiple orders with multiple ship tos. You can allow your customers to review your products and to rate them with a standard star. You can add all these tabs across here, and you can add as many as you want to fill this up. So the things that you see here quite often are things like, you know, specifications, maybe ingredients if you're selling food products and you want to show people that it's gluten-free or that sort of thing. The related items, this is something that you have full control over. So you can create all the items that you want to have people think about when they buy this item. What are the things that they might want to think of going with it? The other thing that you can create is you can create a tab for alternate items, and alternate items would be sort of what's shown here, where if you can't buy this, you might want to consider this drill instead. The other thing that you can do is you can do people who bought this also bought, which is something that you see quite often on places like Amazon.com, where it's looking at all of the orders that this item was purchased on, and then it's showing what people actually bought. So related items are things that you think people will want when they buy this item, but people who bought this also bought is actually what they really bought. So they may have bought this, and then they may have bought a drill bit set to go with it, or they could have bought another type of drill to go with it. So it just gives you that upsell, cross-sell capabilities. We talked about item variation, so I'm going to take a look at workwear here for just a second. So you can see that this particular item comes in multiple colors and multiple sizes. So as you change the color, it'll change the image to represent that color, and then you've got drop downs for sizes. Now you can have multiple settings here. You could have, for clothing, you might have color, you might have waist, inseam, you could have just small, medium, large. I've seen this used for boilers. So it's very, very flexible in terms of what you set up here. Quick order is something that is used often by sales reps, CSRs, and or customers that know your products very, very well. So what this allows you to do is do a quick search. So as long as you give us 3 characters, we'll start searching through the database for products that match. You can search on the item SKU or the description. So I'm just going to put desk in here, and it's going into the database and it's finding everything with the word desk in the description. We've only got one item. So when you click on it, it'll bring up that item. You can put the quantity that you want. If they've got multiple units of measure, you can say which unit of measure you want to buy with. That's all supported from what's inside Sage. And then you just go to the bottom and place the order. If it's a bigger order than what's shown here, they can click the Add Row button and it'll add additional rows of products that they can add. It's very, very helpful for the CSR staff. One of the things that's nice about our product is that sometimes you don't need as many Sage land packs as you might need if you didn't have the website, because you can have, with a single land pack, all of your staff place orders from here. Sale items is, again, we mentioned in the back end, this is items that are set up as on sale in Sage, and they'll display here. I don't think I've got any products on sale right now. You can create kits, so we support kitting in Sage 300, and I talked about the fact that that the configurator is actually building kits like this on the fly. In this configuration, we also allow you to view or have your client set up. So in the back end, you would set what different views you want to support, and then that'll show up here, and the client, if they like a different layout, can click on this and it'll show them a different layout of that product. So this one takes away all the pictures, so you see more products on the page, and this one's a typical grid view that takes up more page per item. We talked about brands in the back end where you set up the brands, and this is where you would display them. And then as you click down in this, it's actually a custom catalog for this brand. So when you go in, all you're going to see is brands for that product. Also, if I go back to the home page, with the content management system, you can set up all sorts of sliders and different content. So we've got a featured hand tools slider. We've got these mega menus where you can drill down into these, and then we've got a slider for the brands. So very, very powerful. Gives you the ability to generate a website for your clients any way that you want to. So let's actually go put an order through. So I'm going to go into drills. We'll go buy that drill. So it's going to pop up here and it's going to tell me that I've successfully added this to my cart, and it's going to show me the cart here. So I already had a product in the cart. So I could actually ask for a quote here, I can view the cart, or I can proceed to checkout. So I'm just going to proceed to checkout. So I'm going to use the billing address as the shipping address. So I can select how I want it shipped. If I'd gone to view cart, it would have allowed me to go in and do a sample shipping cost, but it's going to give me a similar thing that it's got here. It'll show me the rates from all these and I get to select which one I want. So I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to continue. I select my payment method, and this is based on the terms codes inside Sage 300. So you can allow your B2B clients to pay on account or by credit card. So I'm just going to leave this on account. If I had a promo code, I could put that in here and it would give me that promo. If I had a purchase order, which you can make mandatory, we've actually made this one the shipping date. What date do I want this shipped to me? So maybe I'm doing something on a job site. I need this shipped. I know that it's going to be overnight, so I need it shipped the day before I want it to arrive on the site. So I could put a date in here. It shows me the order. I accept the terms and I place the order. This is actually in the process of writing this order back into Sage 300. So you can see that the order is being successfully placed, and this is my order number. So it shows me the order date, it shows me the shipping date that order should go out, and it's actually sending an email to me as the sales rep. It's sending it to anybody that you've put on a list internally that you want to see that a new order is being placed at the web, and it sends a confirmation order to the client saying, yes, we got your order, thank you. This is the date that it's to be shipped, and these are the products that you've purchased, and here's your cost. Because Ron Black is a US customer, it shows this in US dollars. If he was a Canadian customer, it would show it in Canadian currency. We support all the multi-currency capabilities built into Sage 300. I didn't actually start up Sage 300. If I do that right now, so there's our order sitting in Sage 300 that we just placed. And if I go back and I just open up my email, I'll see that I got notification that that order got put through. So there's my order notification, and then back in Sage 300, there's my order. So at the 10,000 foot view, that's sort of Sage eCommerce in a nutshell. Very, very powerful, a lot of flexibility in terms of what you get to do in terms of managing how you want your web store to be presented to your customers. Full B2B, B2C, fully responsive, so it runs on tablets, phones, desktops, laptops, you name it. Mobile sales reps, so your sales reps can be out in the field taking orders from your clients or be at trade shows taking orders and taking full credit card payments. We have a PCI compliant credit card application. We don't store any credit card numbers on your servers. They're stored completely at the gateway. The only thing we store on your servers is something called a token, and the token is used to send back to the gateway to look up the credit card so that the client doesn't have to key their credit card in every time. As I said, very powerful, multilingual. You can see some of the different languages there. See somebody from our European office has been playing with Arabic. I think that has its own category as well. So just very, very powerful tool. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.